Hello, loves. My name is M. Rain. I am the Magical Mystic, founder of not only Magical Mystic, but Divinity Academy, Legacy Builders Academy, the host of Moments of Mindfulness that airs on Fox KTVE and KARD. And the accolades go on. So, most of you who are watching this, you already know me. So, there's that. But anyway, today I want to do a short little message. And I want to talk about something that unfortunately we are running beyond. I'm going to say that, not even running out of, just running beyond it, and it's respect. It's unfortunate that we are in a time where respect is a word that many people don't even really understand. And until, of course, they want it, or they're in a situation where they feel they're not getting it. And so when I look out at the scope of things, it's a little bit disheartening, because one of the things that I represent, and all of you who have been a subscriber to this YouTube channel, who have been following me on Facebook, Call All the Lives, all of that, you know that I am a proponent for freedom. I believe in it. I stand as someone who will fight, live, breathe, fight, die for freedom. Unfortunately, the word freedom is too often used to justify terrible treatment, terrible behavior. It justifies things that we don't want to actually see be the tide of the world, right? So here recently, I've had a few sessions with some younger women. I've had a younger crowd come toward me, and I'm grateful for that. I love helping younger people because they have more time, generally speaking, or you would hope. They have more time, they have sometimes less damage, and you got some raw material right there to help so that they can go along their way and have a really good life. And the thing though about young people is a lot of them who come, they're going through relationship damage. And so a lot of women now, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. I can't speak about men specifically because I don't have but a certain amount of men clients, and I'm not a man, okay? But this is really generally true. But a lot of women now don't understand the importance of respect in a relationship or a friendship. Without respect, you have no relationship, you have no friendship, you have no foundation upon which you could build something that's gonna last and that's gonna be powerful and beneficial. See, there's only a few reasons why you would do relationships or you would do friendships. And one of those things is that you mean to be in a beneficial or mutually beneficial exchange with someone, okay? That's bottom line. You're not in a relationship to be used up and to never receive anything back. And you're not in a relationship to use someone else up and never give anything back. Because either way it go, you're only practicing one part of a two-way relationship, which is give and take. The nature of the universe is expansion. And for expansion to work, okay, there has to be ebb and flow. It has to be. Reciprocity is a law, okay? Everything that the earth causes to come up, everything that grows from the earth, it grows for the sake of something else, which grows for the sake of something else, and that is the cycle of life. And unfortunately, in relationships now, we have been led to believe, okay, that freedom is to be the one to mistreat someone else first. But I beg to differ. See, if once upon a time you were a beautiful hearted person, you were giving, you were loving, you were nurturing, okay, and then someone came into your life that made you feel like that was a dangerous thing to be, I get it, okay, it has happened to me, it has happened to anyone who has lived any length of time. People will give you reasons to stop believing in people. But even so, you can say, I want to be free from that. And if you want to be free from that, you got to really be free from that. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. So if I go off and what they did is the cause of everything I do next, I'm not free from that. I'm not free. I'm bound to it. And some people bind themselves to an act through rebellion. You can bind yourself through agreement, and you can bind yourself through rebellion. Rebellion is a backwards agreement. Truth is, freedom is the ability to be truly who you are, no matter what things you encounter. And if there's going to be change, it comes from within, from a healthy place to make you better, not bitter, not harsh, not cruel, not ruthless. There's a time for ruthlessness. That's not all the time. Okay? That's just not all the time. And so even when I look at some of the things I see on social media, is very, very disheartening. People, you know, I call myself a bitch all the time, pardon me, whatever, y'all know, because I have products, that's rich bitch products, right? And my philosophy is that a bitch is a woman who, if we're gonna make it a woman, because we actually know it's a female dog in heat, but hey, they done made it a woman, Ebonics, you know, what they call it, the Urban Dictionary, whatever. I refuse to see it as an insult. It's not a word that I can take out of existence. So when I hear it, I hear that I am a woman who chooses to live her life under her own terms, who is bold and courageous and driven, who is self-aware and self-governing. So that's generally what kind of women are called bitches. And so for that reason, I own it. But it is very different from somebody calling you a bitch or whore or all these other words as if that's a good thing. You know, I see men and women get into it on social media. One of my clients just recently experienced this, and he posted her nudes, their video, and I mean, just it was hideous. It was really hideous, and unfortunately, this was the first time I kind of caught it right in my face because I was friends with them both. I will say I was perturbed, would be an understatement, but then I realized that's the nature now of a lot of people. Everything is done through social media, and as soon as somebody's mad, they go straight for the jugular and they do all the most and all of that. And that's not to say, I'm not saying to you that I've never done all the most, okay? But I am saying to you that, because I'm not telling you that you should never do all the most, okay, or whatever. But what I'm saying to you is that shouldn't be a default setting. And we got to be careful about what all the most is. You know, I had a incident with some people. And again, if you've been following me for a while, you already know about this incident. But one of the girls that I got into it with, she was a fat slob. Now, that's just really how I feel about her, right? She's a fat slob. But I have people that I love dearly who are overweight. I myself am overweight. And so when even in my anger, I was cautious about how I decided to go in on her because she was the culprit. I didn't want to hurt anyone else who may be dealing with weight issues, right? And so a lot of times when it comes to women, and I know y'all thought I had forgot where I was going with this, I haven't. A lot of times when it comes to women, we have been, you know, taken down so many pegs by men, by our friends, by our family, by our children. We've been taken down so many pegs that we don't recognize disrespect when it happens, right? And so when she and I was talking about their relationship, now this is after the whole situation because she was extremely low behind that. But when we got to talking about the relationships, of course, you could see all these red flags. And the biggest red flag was me and her have been seeing each other for, I'm talking about professionally, okay, for the better part of 2 years. She's never mentioned it before. And even times where I broached the subject, she would cover for him and their relationships and swear that they had nothing to do with any of the things that we talked about. And the first sign of disrespect in an unhealthy relationship is when you got to lie for other people to be like, oh, that's great, you're in a great relationship. If you find yourself lying, hiding, and covering up, you're already in something that's not beneficial for you. Lying, hiding, covering up ain't the same as being quiet because you don't want nobody in your business because you and him just doing what y'all doing, or you and her are just doing what you're doing. It's a different story when you dare not broach the subject because you're being hit, because you're being cursed out, because you're being abused, because you're being manipulated, because you're being controlled, because you're being isolated. That's totally different things. And so when we look at all the steps that led to here, what he did is just par for the course. right? It was shocking to other people who she was careful to cover him in front of, because nobody knew that there was a problem until suddenly everybody knew there was a problem. But the truth is, if you had been there and you watched the progression, it was going to basically come to that anyway. And so even when I look at times where, to quote the good book, about there being a time for everything, okay, there are times when anger is justified and action is necessary. Do you hear me? Anger is justified and action is necessary. But even in that, anger should be pointed more like an arrow or a sniper's rifle. It shouldn't just be blasted out in front of everybody, because not only did he disrespect her, he disrespected every single friend on his friend list, because nobody wanted to see that. Somebody might have, but whoever it was a depraved mind themselves. Okay? Nobody wanted to see that. But here's what happens, loves, and this is the primary reason why I'm talking about respect today, is because disrespect breeds more disrespect. And we have to know who the hell we are at all times and hold that thing. That has to be the foundation upon which you build your life. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. And I know what I'm about. And when things come along that tempt us toward high treason, self-betrayal, we have to be courageous enough to release it. Because anything that tempts you toward self-betrayal is disrespectful to who you are, where you're going, what you're about, your sovereignty, your right to practice self-love and self-honor. It is disrespectful. And so rather than being like, oh, at least I didn't say this to them, or at least I didn't do this to them, you say, is this thing a violation to self-honor and self-love? Is this thing a violation to my sovereignty and my divine autonomy? Is this thing a violation to what I say I am? Does this come against my integrity? If so, it's disrespectful to the vessel, to the person, the being that I am. It's disrespectful. Now, another thing that I have to say about this is this. It is easier for me to say the things I say than many times it is for a person to hear the words I'm saying and enact them in their lives. And that it is what it is. But I want you to understand, it's no easier for me to do it than it is for you to do it. I'm going to say this, and this is a conversation I've had with my son a lot of times. My son is 31 years old now. And I tell him all the time, because he'll make a statement, it's easy for you. It's not easy for me. It's necessary, right? It's necessary. It's not easy to X this part of your life out and remove it, burn it, light it up. That's a bridge that I'll never cross again. It's not easy to do that. It's necessary. It's self-love makes hard things possible. Self-respect, self-honor makes hard, painful things possible and bearable and powerful once you get through it. A lot of you are so disrespectful to yourself. I can't talk about respect and not talk about the primary issue. You're disrespectful to yourself. You have no belief in who you are, what you are, or your own strength or your own value. You don't value yourself. Thus, you will refuse to choose you over everybody else. I ain't choosing me over my children. I ain't choosing me over my parents. I'm not choosing me over my man. I'm not choosing me over. When do you choose you? Somewhere along the lines, you got to be in there somewhere. Or if you're not, then how can you complain about what comes out of your life? I'm first. I don't give a damn what nobody say about that. I don't care what kind of compliments or insults they throw. I am first because I'm me. I'm going to always be me. Whoever come, whoever go. Death, life, breakup. I'm going to still be me. I'm going to be with me. I can't get rid of me. I got to be first. Everything that I do is an offshoot of the truth of who I already am and what I'm already doing for myself. If I'm mistreating myself, I can try to treat you the best I can. Some kind of way you're going to feel the energy of the sickness within my own heart about myself, and you ain't going to appreciate it. I think that a lot of people don't understand the word respect. You need to respect my boundaries. What does that mean to you? And if you don't know what it means to you, how do you expect somebody who you're saying that to understand what you're saying? Respect me. Respect yourself first. Put respect in the atmosphere. You know, I love sex. I'm a Scorpio. Scorpio, Aries, Capricorn, Scorpio. It's just all this Scorpio energy all throughout my chart. And so I love sex. I love talking about it. It's a beautiful thing. But there's a difference between sexual freedom and depravity. There's a difference between experiencing the beauty of what sex is and destroying the beauty of what sex is. You know, I love competition. Okay, I'm a competitive ass female. I just always have been. I don't know how not to be that way. But there's a difference between competing to be better and competing to be better than everybody else. It's a difference between competing to enjoy yourself, to be entertained, to challenge yourself, versus competing to destroy someone else. It's a difference. And so because some people just can't see that everything has a light and dark side, it's the universal laws. Polarity, everything has its positive and negative poles. Okay? Because some people just can't see that, they see things one way. All this disrespect in the world, it is because of you and I. Each of us, we play our own roles. The thing that we have to fix is ourselves. And then we're able to release a different vibration that affects other people. And eventually you shift the whole planet. A lot of us out here really trying to save the world, and we think we're trying to shift them into 3D, 4D, 5D, 7D shit. People be making up 13D and all kind of other stuff. But the truth is, you're here to shift you. And when you shift you, that is how you're going to shift anyone else. Same with love. You're here to love you. And when you love you, that is the same way you're going to be able to give love to other people. And the same with respect. When you respect yourself, it is a lot easier to define your borders and your boundaries and to show people what the fuck it look like to respect you. Disrespect is about violation. Okay? You got to ask yourself today, whenever you watch it, do you frequently disrespect yourself, violate yourself? Do you do it and say it's for other people? Do you do it aware or unaware? Is that something you do often? Because if it is, then there's the problem. You got to fix that first. That's the first thing. First things first, okay? Respect, okay, is about appreciation. I can respect everybody's freedom because I appreciate my own. And I appreciate watching them in theirs. I can respect every woman's femininity because I appreciate mine, and thus I appreciate theirs. Respect is about appreciation. Disrespect is about violation, and it's really as simple as that. Don't let nobody make you believe that your freedom means that you can do whatever you want without consequence. Consequence is a universal law. It's called cause and effect. For everything that you do, there is consequence or there is an effect. Your action is the cause of this effect. His action is the cause of this effect. You can't transmute that. Not fully. And so, every day of your life, everything that you've been doing, thinking, saying, acting, behaving like, don't let your bitterness put you in a place where you're just disgusting energetically And then because a few people laugh at your depravity, you think you're okay. Because at least now they're laughing, they're not talking about you. Don't ever value another person's acceptance of you more than you value your own acceptance for yourself. Because the day that you do, you go into slavery. And it's so hard. It is so hard to save a person from something that they bind themselves to. I can save you from anything that is not born from within your own heart or mind. This person may can, that person may can, but when it's born inside of here and here, inside of you, you have to save yourself. And imagine ignorantly tying yourself to something and being blind to where you can't hear and see the truth, being terrified of acting upon the truth when you hear it. Then how in the hell do you ever get free? Because contrary to popular opinion, there is no being in the sky that's going to split the sky and call you up out of your suffering. It's unfortunate to tell you that just like that, but it's not going to happen. You are the Savior. But for that matter, many times it's you who leads you to bondage. You got to begin to respect the power of who you are. The fact that you are. The fact that you are is a universal decree that you're worthy, you're loved, you're supported, and that because you are, there is something somewhere believing in, rooting in, pushing you forward. And either, one day you'll wake up and understand that you're more than a pretty face and a big butt, that you're more than whatever dude you done tied yourself to, speaking specifically to women right now, that you're more than the money you earn and the degrees that you've earned in school. You're more than the cars that you drive. You know what? I drive real nice. I live real nice. I make a lot. And I have one of the most handsome, respectful, sweet, adoring men in the world. And I got all of that. But my value is me and me. Because if this don't feel right, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm telling you right now, I don't give two flying fucks about that. I care about that. And I appreciate that because all of this is already together. I wish for you self-love, self-honor, self-respect, right? Integrity and courage, because you deserve that. I don't care who you are that's listening to that. You deserve that, but only you can give yourself that. And when you give yourself that, universally speaking, the more you're releasing that vibration, the more you pull those same kind of people into your life. Am I saying that life becomes perfect? No. But it's a whole lot easier when you got your shit together inside. Okay? Guys, visit us online, magicalmystic.com or mrain.com or divinityacademy.com, depending on what you want, right? You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram at mrainofficial. Or at The Magical Mystic. We're always open to that. Subscribe to the newsletter. Or you could subscribe to our community, text community. And that number is, let me look, because y'all know I ain't remembered it yet. This is still fairly new. Okay, that number is 318-405-6802. And you would text I Am Magic to sign up for our text community, okay? I enjoy talking to you guys, and I look forward to more messages soon.